Hey everyone, welcome. I am Monty Mills,
I'm Erica.
and we are the College
College
Mom
Mom
Dropouts
Dropouts.
podcast.
Yes. I'm excited.
I'm
so
excited too.
Yeah.
Definitely taking on a new journey.
Yes.
And I feel like when you hear the name, it's not, it's not. We're not glorifying, being college mom dropouts, right?
That's not glorifying.
Just telling our stories and how we got to where we were and how we were able to overcome that obstacle. And hopefully we will be able to inspire other moms with similar stories or obstacles, or just other women in general, with an obstacle, to turn lemons into lemonade.
Lemons into lemonade, child, because I don't really know. I guess I don't really know your story. Like, when I think about it, I feel like mine is not that deep, but it is. Like, there's depth to it. But I feel like you got some, like, real depth. I want to know about. It's something in there. We're going to see. Because I feel like it's definitely something. Now, I'm not going to downplay. Like, it was not all roses for me. But I don't know. I'm just excited to see about your story, girl.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear about yours. We'll definitely be getting to know each other so much more throughout this journey. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yes.
We've been able to grow individually into having our own families. I am a radio personality. I am a newly announced coach. I'm starting with social media strategy.
Yes,
I have been to the BT Awards, and I've interviewed artists, and I have been in the Breakfast Club.
Okay, period.
And all of this without a college degree. So, that's pretty much what it's all about. Like, how we were able to overcome them obstacles and be who we are today.
Yeah.
How about you? Who are you?
That's deep, because I have not been on the Breakfast Club, girl. I ain't did all that. But I just feel like so for me, I had a vision of like what it would be. I would go to college, and I kind of thought I was going to be like Sex in the City life. Like, I didn't think I was going to be a wife, girl, 4 kids, plus a bonus. No, ma'am.
Right.
It was not my vision. I thought I was going to be, I didn't have a vision for like the city I was going to live in and nothing like that. But I knew I was going to live well. But once I got to college, I low-key was just like, what now? Like, I'm here, and I knew I wanted to make a statement while I was there, but I also didn't have like this strong vision for what it looked like after college. And maybe that kind of, it was God. That's all I'm gonna say. But after college, or after I had my son, I didn't go to do as much as you did, but my life seemingly has turned out beautifully.
No, of course.
So like, one thing, and I've talked to people all the time, and they're like, "Oh, you're so inspiring." I'm like, "How?" Because I really felt like I was just getting through. But when I break down the story of like, I went back home, and then I moved to another city with just me and my son, and the little nitty gritty things, I'm like, okay, no, you really went through some things. So we can definitely unpack it more.
Because everybody's definition of success is different anyways, right? So
yeah, for sure.
The idea is just turning lemons into lemonade and being able to, overcome those obstacles to be whatever you feel that level of success is. So you have gone on to do amazing things, like you said. I mean, even career-wise. Everybody's success level is different.
Everybody's success level
for
is
sure.
different.
And then, when you talk about that college experience, let's talk about what that was like for you. Like, when you first found out you was pregnant, like when you did you know you was pregnant already? I mean, how many tests did you take? Like, what was that like?
Okay, funny. So I think I took one. One was enough for me. I don't know about you, but one was enough. So I was actually in my dorm at school. So Kyle, at this point, he's gone. He actually graduated, but he would come back all the time. And so in school, I was involved. I was in little organizations and stuff like that. So for me, a baby was nowhere, just period, wasn't gonna be on the brain. I ain't have no marriage and nothing like that. But I remember being in my dorm one day. I'm like, God, these cramps ain't no period. What is going on? I Googled it. It was like pregnant. I'm like, oh, no, you lying. Went to Dollar Tree and got the little Dollar Tree.
Because Dollar Tree if tests work.
Okay. If you pregnant, it's going to tell you pregnant. Like, go get that little Dollar Tree or $1.25 now.
You do not have to spend that $25.
Absolutely not. So I went and got it because I didn't have no money, girl. I was broke. We was in college. So got the test, went back to my dorm, and took the test. Girl, I thought I was going to faint in that bathroom. I didn't even know. All I did was take a picture, send it to him, and I was like, what did we do?
Oh, God.
What? Because, I mean, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. Like, no way. So, and he was just like, he didn't know what to say. He in Vegas at this point. So, that was that. But what I will say about it is I never really... Am I being honest with that? I was going to say I never second guessed it. I think everybody does. For a minute, you like, wait a minute. Am I going to go through with this or not? But I knew it was not like I never wanted to, end the pregnancy or anything. So pretty much I was like, all right, well, this is what it is. I'm going to have this baby. I'm going to stay on campus. I'm going to be like Monty, having my baby around the campus. And we going to raise these kids right here together. And so... I was just not scared. I wasn't scared. I took it head on. Now, did it happen the way I thought? Absolutely not. Like, as the pregnancy rolled on, I'm not from South Carolina. So, like, I had to go back home and be with my parents. And that's when it started to get real. Because I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be having the best time of my life right now, and I'm at home with a kid, and I'm watching everybody do everything I wanted to do through a screen, and I'm like, try not to be depressed, try not to feel down, because I had told myself so many things before. I was like, girl, you can go back to school, you can do anything you want to do. So it took a toll when I found out, like, you cannot go back to school. You don't have a support system there to raise this baby. You have no idea what it takes to raise a baby. You need to stay at home where your family is near. And so that's when things started to get a little hazy for me. There were a lot of days, and then Kyle wasn't there either because he was doing his PhD work. And so... it was just me. And I feel like my parents were there, but they also kind of had a little bit of like, you need to figure this out. Yeah, you in our house, but you got to provide for this baby, And so I was braiding hair in the salon. I was working at a restaurant, girl, just doing anything so I could, have money to get diapers and stuff like that. Like, I'm not trying to have no sad story, but that really it was what it was. So yeah, girl, I knew I couldn't stay in that place. So I mean, this story could go all the way down the road because it gets deep. But yeah, so how did you feel when the test turned positive,
When
girl?
the test turned positive. I feel like it's pretty similar. I was in Williams Hall. So we met at South Carolina State University. I know we didn't share too much. So that's in Orangeburg, South Carolina. So when she talked about not being from South Carolina, that's why. We was in South Carolina. I'm not from South Carolina either. I'm originally from D.C. But yeah, so when I found out I was pregnant, I was dancing. I was on Champagne. And one of my closest friends on Champagne, Kira, I told her, and we sat outside the dorm in Williams Hall, and like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Well, what am I going to do? I'm sorry. She ended up having the same situation like a couple weeks later.
Oh,
so
really?
that's why I'm like weak.
Right.
It goes hand in hand.
Okay.
Because we got pregnant like maybe a couple of weeks apart. But anyways, so my child's father was not supportive at all. He actually left. He left. He went back home to Maryland because he was from D.C. too.
Yeah.
So he went back home to Maryland. He left me by myself. I did not. Huh? You don't remember him?
No, I do remember him.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, he left. So, I didn't have a lot of support at all. I mean, my mother, she had me when she was 19, so I felt like she didn't really say too much. Okay. It was kind of just like, it is what it is. My father, like, I feel like everybody in my family just had these high hopes for me because growing up, I was like straight A, honor roll student. I wanted to be a pediatrician. Like, everybody was like, Monty's going to be that girl. Like, she's going to be that one. So when I got pregnant, it was very disappointing for a lot of people. And like I said, my child's father was not supportive. He left. I didn't have a lot of support aside from like I said, my mother. It was hit or miss. My aunt was very supportive. Whether she really supported it deep down inside, I don't know. But she never made me feel like less than. So that's somebody that I feel like I really had in my corner. my child's mother, which rest in peace, she has passed on, but this is just my story, right? So when we found out, I will never forget this. She took me to lunch. Well, first of all, she wrote me a letter about how I need to get rid of my baby. And like she gave me reasons why, like, oh, you won't be able to dance anymore. You won't be able to do this. And then she took me to like lunch and pretty much had the same conversation with me over again. So it was a lot of pressure in my corner for me to get rid of my baby, like a lot of it.
Oh, wow.
So, but for me, like, yeah, I thought about it in a sense of those things like, oh my God, like my life, it will change completely. I won't be able to dance anymore. I am going to have to try to figure this thing on out. But like, whenever I would try to picture me literally laying on the table and doing that, I couldn't do it. I'm like, like, I don't know what this plan is, but I feel like that's not it. I gotta roll with the punches. I saw my mother do it, and I'm like, I'm fine, you know? So I'm like, it's not really a question of can I do it? It's just, okay, how are you gonna do it? And, you know, I really did deep down in my heart, I thought that I was gonna graduate. Because I really wanted to. That's why, like you said, I was still on campus. I was still going to classes and everything. But I didn't have a lot of support, and I did not have nobody to financially get me through. And like you said, diapers and everything cost a lot of money. So I ended up leaving school. I left school because I had to get me a JOB. And my child's father did end up coming back to South Carolina State. And so at that time, we tried to play family. You know, we had got a house.
Okay.
We was living together and everything.
Y'all was living together
in Orangeburg. We were living together in Orangeburg and everything. We was trying to figure it out. Then he went to CIAA and cheated on me. Clock it. It's the truth. And so after that, I officially left because I felt like, okay, I know my worth. I'm not staying in a situation with no man is cheating on me. That's just how I felt at the time. And I left, and I never went back to school. And I was like very close to finishing, so it was very like devastating to leave. When you think you're gonna finish it. I mean, I went. How long did you go to state? How many years did you go?
I was there for 2 years, and I tried to come back that third year at the beginning of the semester. I was like, okay, no.
Yeah. So we were, I mean, we spent a good bit of time because I feel like I was there because I left and came back like total. Okay. So I graduated high school in 2009. So I went to state 2009 to like 2000. I had Aiden in 2011.
Yeah. Because I came and he was on campus.
Yeah.
You know,
I was there for a while. Like, I don't know, but I need my honorary degree.
Yeah. Hold on. It's coming. It's coming.
For real.
Wow. So wait, how close? When you say you were close to finishing, like how many credit hours?
I was probably like 2 semesters maybe.
So you was on campus pregnant?
I was.
The whole time. Wow.
The whole time. And then I had the baby, took a break, came back. Like I said, I had to maybe did like another year. I would have to get my dates together because I feel like it's been so long, and I kind of like zoned that part of my life out. But I was there long because if I would have graduated, I would have definitely with a super senior. Okay,
yeah.
I would have been a super senior.
So you would have been like class of 2012 if you would have graduated on time.
Yes, on time, 2012. But I was in school after that. I was still in school. I want to say in like 2013, maybe even 2014.
Yeah, you was there after I left.
I was trying, y'all. I was
you
trying.
Was there after I left. I know that, and I left in 2013.
Yes,
so okay, that. And you said something that I didn't think about, a part of my story, as far as did anybody tell me like to not have it. Honestly, nobody really did. I feel like my mom, she snapped for a minute. Like, okay, let me tell you what I did. I forgot about this. I went to Las Vegas. I did not tell my parents I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant on 4/20. I'll never forget. And so I didn't tell my parents I was pregnant then. They came down because my sister graduated from college that same year. So we all went to see her graduate. And I knew I was pregnant. My sister knew I was pregnant. But I was like, girl, don't say nothing. Like, we're not talking about this. It's not coming out. So fast forward to almost July. I went to stay with Kyle at like the end of June. He was in Vegas. I went to stay with him. Parents still did not know I was pregnant at this point. And I typed up an email and sent it to my parents. I didn't even tell them. I was petrified.
Yeah.
I sent them an email, girl. As soon as they got there, my mom was blowing me up. I didn't even answer the first few times because I was like, Lord, you know, I cannot. Because in my eyes, I'm like, no, I'm not the baby of my family, but I'm just like, I'm my dad's baby. You know, no matter how many kids you have, like your girls are your girls, right? So I'm like, this is going to just shake him. You know, I'm in school. I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing in school. And here I am, pregnant. And I didn't know. But I will say I was not hard on myself. Like, I wasn't like, ew, girl, you pregnant and da-da-da-da. They're going to think this, that, or third.
Well, that's good. And I think that comes from a healthy support system, you know, because having people in your corner that's not, you know, negative about the situation will give you more confidence moving forward to be who you need to be in that next chapter of life. Because I was, even though, like, I feel like I tried to keep it together on the outside. So, like, even when I came back to school, I had tried out for Champagne again. They got the video up on YouTube and everying. Stomach black, because I had just had my baby not long ago.
Not the black
girl,
stomach.
Black stomach and everything. Trying out. So I tried to still move on and be, you know. But
they didn't let you on?
Well, I did. I ended up, like, I didn't have the confidence. So, like, I was there and I tried out. I want to say maybe that first day, but I never came back again for, like, the rest of the tryouts. I didn't stay.
Because of the stomach?
Yeah, I was just feeling very uncomfortable and very...
You feel like people was, like, looking at you, like...
I feel it.
Because, you know what I will say? I felt like... So, there was only one person that stayed. I was obviously on cab. So, we always stayed after everybody left to have, like, a... student leaders, like, little conference type thing. So when I knew I was pregnant, there was only one person I told. God rest his soul, is OB, because he also had somebody pregnant at the time. So I was like, listen, bro, like, we both about to have babies. Like, you know, like, I told him this story. And so he was the only one who knew I was pregnant the whole time we was there. But I was not willing to tell anybody that I was with child, because I had this plan in my head, like, I'm going to come back first semester. He was not due until Christmas break. So I was like, maybe I'll have to take off second semester, but I'll get through all of first semester, go home and have this baby.
Yeah.
This was my thought.
Right.
It was very ambitious. So I didn't tell anybody but him. So he knew, and he would, like, just keep asking, like, are you okay? Are you okay? Every time I would eat something or do something, I was like, and this is exactly why I didn't want nobody to know, because I don't need this. And then I came back to campus in August. I took all my stuff. I didn't even have a plane. I didn't even have a dorm, girl. I was just like, I don't care what nobody says. I'm going back to school. I'm enrolled in my classes. I will figure out where I'm going to stay when I get there.
Yeah.
And my parents was like, okay. So I went. I think I was there for like 2 days. Maybe 3. And I was like, I gotta go home. I didn't even see it there. I got to go home. Yeah. So it was sad, you know, riding off and everybody having a good time. Back to school week. And back to the DMV I went, girl. To work in a little, I don't know, I was working like an attorney's office or something.
I was working at Forever 21. That was like my baby. I worked there for like 4 years probably.
Where at?
In Columbia. Okay, so when I left, I had my mother and my aunt was in Columbia, South Carolina, which is like 45 minutes or an hour away from Orangeburg, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up, after my child's father cheated on me and I left, I packed up our stuff and I went to my aunt's house in Columbia, South Carolina. And that's pretty much like where I made the next transition of my life. I stayed in Columbia for... I want to say like 5-6 years.
So you didn't go back to DC?
Okay. Nope, I haven't been back to DC since I left.
Okay.
And so when I stayed out there, I was working at Forever 21 in Columbia. And then I ended up getting in the clubs. Like, I started bartending in the clubs. And
when you first said, when I got pregnant, I was dancing, I was like, you was stripping? But I know you was on Champagne, but you know, people be like, yeah, girl, I used to dance.
I wasn't. I did try. You try did? One time. I had in Orangeburg, too.
No, can I just say, wait, that's a story for another day. I can't even out myself like this, because I'm about to say, I feel like everybody has a story in Orangeburg. No, I did not strip, but there are stories. Anyway, keep going.
So yes, I moved to Columbia, South Carolina, stayed with my aunt. I was working at Forever 21, then I got into clubs. I was bartending and things like that. While I was in that space is when I started to realize I like that little space, right? Like, how can I make this space work for me? Mm-hmm. And so I started like putting on events. Like I started putting on fashion shows. I put on poetry events, and I was like hosting them. And it's so funny because when I go back and listen to it, I sound crazy. But I believed in me. That's one thing. All this whole journey, if nobody believed in me, I always have believed in me.
That's all it takes.
Yes. And so I started doing that, different like fashion shows. I was hosting it. I started getting better and things like that. And then that's how the radio came along because I was doing those events and my voice, like I was getting booked to like host different things. And so I came to, became the voice, I feel like, of the city. And that's how radio came along. I got my first opportunity in Columbia, South Carolina. And then it's just kind of been up since then. That was just kind of my success story. It's so funny because people hit me up like, how do I get in radio? How do I get in radio? And I'm like, I wish that I don't have the answers because, I mean, at the end of the day, what's for you is for you, right? And like, this was always destined to be my plan. I look back and when I was young, I wanted to be a pediatrician, not knowing that really I've just always my whole life wanted to help people.
Yeah,
like
you have a nurturing
others, for sure.
Spirit.
So it's like no matter where life takes me in this journey, even sitting here with you on this podcast, it's like I'm hoping that this inspires and, helps somebody else along their journey. It's always been my goal to help. So yeah, no matter what you're doing, the goal is the goal. And that's the journey. Talk about like what do you do?
What do I do for a living? Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
And how did you get there?
That? You don't want to talk Here's what I'll say. I'll say about it's not like, not that it needs to be exciting anyway. I work in corporate America. Actually, I work in senior living.
But for one, I think that's so cute. So like you dress up every day. I told Erica, I said, because Erica's like, what's going to be our vibe? I'm like, this is really the only time I get to dress up. Like, I'm on 10. I'm trying to get my makeup done every time. And you're like, yeah, I'm trying to chill. I'm like, it's so funny because our worlds are so different. Like, what we say, we were like, we're as similar as we are different, right? So I love the fact that you're in corporate America. I love the fact that you dress up and you be on your cute boss. I got an office. She'd be like, hold on, let me close my office door. Okay, period, office.
No, like, that part is funny. I do think that when I think back and I'm like, how did I get here? Like, child, I got a director title and they got
exactly. I don't nobody so why need to hear me. Exciting?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's just not as like, for me, I just got here. I don't know. That's the grace of God. That's what I say. Like, he definitely had the plan for my life because I kind of envisioned, like, some of the things in my life, I envisioned it. I just did not have the plan of how I was going to get there. Yeah. It all just kind of lined up. But it goes back to something you said, which is, as long as you believe in you, everything falls in place. I never, like me, when I went back home, I actually picked back up and left and moved to Norfolk, just me and Carter. Because I was like, I'm not staying at home. If I stay at home, I'm going to get stuck. Everybody I know went back home. They don't do nothing, but like they stay there. And so I was like, if I stay here, I'm going to be stuck here. I didn't have nothing, girl. Went to Norfolk, couldn't get approved for an apartment, couldn't get nothing because my credit wasn't good enough. I really didn't have credit. So like, it was just an experience that I was like, whatever. There was moments where I was discouraged, very discouraged. Like, and I didn't even tell my mom. I didn't have a car, so I had her, what was it, a Sonata at the time? Girl, I slept in that car like 3 days straight. I was like, well, ain't nowhere for me to stay. I got to find an apartment. I ended up getting an apartment with another mom who had a son, and me and her did not know each other. We got a 2-bedroom apartment, so both of us just stayed in our rooms with our sons. And so it was a very interesting journey, but I just knew like I had to keep pushing and I had to become independent so that I could make these strides. And that's what I did. Just kept telling myself.
But that's why I say don't downplay. Don't say it's not exciting because it's not exciting to who? There could be someone who's sleeping in their car right now and not seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? So just to be able to see that like, it can happen for anybody, like we said, like as long as you believe in you, you know, director, you can get your office or whatever your dream. Everybody's goals are different. So,
That's
you
true.
know, everybody's goal is not to be on the BET Awards. That was my goal when I got into it, but it wasn't always my goal either. Like I said, I wanted to be a pediatrician. Who knew I was going to be in Cali doing what I'm doing? So, you know, I think that it's important to show that you were able to overcome regardless.
For sure.
Without you, because especially nowadays, I feel like the reason why I'm really interested in going back to school is because, for one, my career is not the most promising. I mean, you know, I pray, I love my job, so I'm hoping that, you know, I can stay in here for years to come. But it's like, okay, what happens if something happens? I don't have a lot of these jobs. You got to have a degree to get into them. So I'm just saying, the fact that you were able to get into the corporate America
that is true.
without a degree, and then now you already have the experience.
Yeah, right.
So really, I mean, your experience in your resume will speak for itself. Right. Me, on the other hand, my experience don't even relate to corporate world. They're going, you know, I can't even, unless I'm lying on a resume, you know. So I'm just saying, like, I think it's important, you know, to you know, give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
For being able to tap into that world as well, coming from that point.
And it's good to like step back and have moments like this where you think about like, okay, no, it is no small thing. Because I know, I will say this is no shade, no tea. I know a lot of people who went on to have the degrees and they still be like, how do you do this? Or how did you get into this? And I'm just like, you know, I'll definitely tell you what I did, but... So I'm just saying, like, sometimes there's just a favor. And I feel like for you, you have a favor on your life. Like, I think I've said that multiple times, but I definitely feel like some of the reasons you were able to break into the spaces that you have, because you have a favor. Even how you were able to grow your, you know, you got the Mighty Meals and you got your family page. And I remember us just talking back and forth about, well, girl, I'm going to start it. And you finally started it. And once you did, it just took off. So I feel like so many people work for so long on social media trying to see those results. They're consistent. They, you know what I'm saying? But it just doesn't happen for them. There's a favor that comes with that. Like, I feel like you definitely have favor. And I think, yes, I understand you being practical, saying what you do, kind of like entertainment is not forever. But I feel like there's always going to be a space.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a space. It's going to be new spaces. Like, this is new.
Right.
You know, podcasting is new. So I think as long as you have that favor on you, and you do, you know, he's always going to make room for you. I say
so are you? So I know they say favor ain't fair. Are you saying everybody ain't got favor?
Everybody. Yeah, listen, a lot of people coming from me, but
I definitely appreciate that. I definitely receive that. And, you know, I think along with favor, you know, just not giving up on yourself and, you know, putting in that work to ain't nobody. One thing that I've always thought, this is so crazy, but like growing up, I just thought the opportunities was going to be handed to me. I'm thinking like, even like, because too, growing up, my mother used to put me in a lot of like modeling things and trying to get me to do modeling and stuff. And I had this crazy image in my head that I was going to be walking in the mall and somebody's going to come up to me and give me their card and like, hey, I think that you should be a model. Come walk my runway. Like, I literally thought that for the longest time until I realized, baby, ain't nobody coming to save you. It's just you out here. You got to figure it out. You got to go get the opportunities. And so when I realized that I feel like when things, so like for me, I feel like my grind is just next level, you know, like if I want something, I'm going to get it. That's just, you know, that's just what it is. So yeah, with that, I think that, you know, that's how I was able to just, you know, get to these spaces. But I do 100% agree with you that there is always going to be space, you know, regardless of what it is, for sure.
Always going to be space for you and your gift. So, I mean, I do have a question though. So like, did you ever envision, you know, you went through with your pregnancy? Obviously we both did. But did you envision down the road, like, I'll be married with 4 kids plus bonus babies, huge family.
Right. I don't think I ever like had all that I knew that I wanted vision wise was a family. It was never a question about I'm not gonna say I didn't envision like having a lot of kids, but I didn't envision I knew I wanted kids. I knew that I wanted to have a husband. I knew that I wanted to be I wanted to be in the church. That was really big for me. So I wanted us to be at church every Sunday. But the way it panned out, I guess not. But then I guess so too, though. Maybe maybe I did, because I don't feel like it's so off to the point where I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm here.
Yeah, I feel the same.
I do think that some part of me did feel like I'm going to be a wife. I'm going to have kids. I don't know how many kids, however many come, it will be fine. I never had a number on it or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely felt like I envisioned somewhat of this, but I just didn't have all the details of how it was going to be, I've always been a relationship type of girl. I always had a man.
I keep a man. Okay, Miss, I keep a man. She keeps a man, child. We hear you.
But hold on, that's really not a good thing, because I have not had the best men. Okay, so it's not a good thing, because I feel like I stayed in spaces that, I be looking back
when you look back,
yeah, for sure. So it's not a good thing. I just say that to say I've always been a relationship type of girl. I always wanted to have that. I was never out here wanting to really be in the streets for real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I guess it doesn't surprise me. No, it doesn't surprise me. Now this country, man, I don't know if I envisioned that. A cowboy.
I love it.
No, I love 100%.
I love it. I'm like, okay, cowboy boots with a suit.
He came and calmed me all the way down, in the sense of just that city meets the country. It's our worlds really just balanced each other out. Even him, it's I feel like my spice gave him a little spice. Even though he got his own little, he got his own little twang. But I'm just saying, I feel like we definitely were a match made from heaven, for sure.
I love that. You asked about how.
Yeah, I was because I know you said you were shocked. I know you said you were shocked. But I think it's so cute that you and Kyle, you guys are college sweethearts. I think it's so cute you guys made it work. Yeah. And, that's really cute as far as just y'all's love story.
Yeah, I guess, yes. We jokingly say, he was my chemistry tutor, and I did fail the class, but it was but at least there was chemistry, obviously. We passed the chemistry test. Right. But yeah,
chemistry was so hard. Oh
it was so hard.
What was your major? I'm sorry.
I started thinking I was going to be a nursing major, but they did away with the program. I don't know if they got it back now or what. But then I went to mass comm.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's what
interesting. Yeah, I only say that because I was a biology major, which is how I had seen Kyle around. I don't know where I seen him at, but anyways, I'm just
walking around.
Straight face.
Straight face.
We're going to have to insert a picture of Kyle right there. It's so funny.
Everybody was when they found out, because I was so low key. Yeah. I was too player. Not that, first of all, I want to say I wasn't messing with nobody on campus or nothing like that. I actually had a boyfriend, and he went to another HBCU in Georgia. And so, girl, I don't know if this story is for now, but basically I had another boyfriend when we met. He was my tutor, but the chemistry was, we kept it going. And it was not working out with me and this boyfriend, and so we broke it off. One day I was like, I gotta go fight for my relationship. I told Kyle this. And it was, our study sessions had kind of turned into kickbacks. We was just ordering pizza. I would hang out with him and his frat brothers sometimes and chill. And so I was like, I gotta go fight for my relationship.
I know
this is the love of my life. And he was like, okay, go ahead. And so I went down there and basically said boyfriend or ex, whatever he was at this time I was trying to fight for, he was just like, go home. Basically, it's like,
really?
Why are you here? Have you ever heard of Orange Crush? It was in Savannah
Yeah, I've been one time. Yes.
I went to Orange Crush, and I was like, I'm
Yes.
gonna bump into him with Orange Crush, girl. He ain't gonna be able to deny me out here. I can't. So met up with a homegirl I had. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to Orange Crush with you. We went, seen him, thinking that he was gonna come over to me like, oh my God, so glad you're here. We getting back together. He was just like, why are you here? Go home.
Wow.
And I was so hurt, girl. I was so hurt. I got in the car. He said, I'm gonna call you. He did say that. He was like, listen, I'm gonna go back with my teammates. He played basketball for the college. So he was like, we about to go back to the dorm. I don't know if we doing something tonight. I'm gonna call you. So wait for my call. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wait for your call. Did not call. I waited for hours, did not call. I was like, this is crazy. And it was like, at that point, I already was like, no, this is not my man no more. Like, I already was feeling it. I was like, my man is back yonder. And so I text Kyle and was just like, I want pizza. Because that's what we all did. And I was like, I want pizza. He was like, okay, well, I'll order it. Come back. It was like 2-hour drive. Girl, I hopped on that road. It was nighttime. Drove straight back to Houdini A building where he stayed. And the rest was history.
Oh, I love that. So, that's cute. One time for Kyle and Erica. Period.
They be getting on my nerves now sometimes, but don't they all?
I love it.
But yeah, so lemons into lemonade is literally what happened.
No, for sure.
That's what happened.
And so I feel like this week we should dedicate our podcast to maybe somebody who has like supported us. Because, like you said, we came together to do this podcast randomly. But like so intentionally, like it was just so like we both felt it on our spirits. You had a situation which we'll go into in another episode with how we got here, and then I hit you up. Like it's crazy how we came together, and we have the busiest lives, clearly. But we are really committed to this process, and I feel like it was so special to have people along this journey who, have supported us to get to where we are today. And I know typically we are going to be shouting out different women, mom or not, because this platform is not just for moms; it's for any woman with a story or that can relate to overcoming an obstacle, right? And so we'll be, shouting out our women of the week. But this week, I just thought it would be really special to kind of like dedicate this episode to like maybe our biggest cheerleader in this process. Yes. Like, who do you feel like that's been for you?
For me, like I shared with you, God, it's like I would be remiss if I don't say Kyle. Like, because he's there, right? He's there every day. So he hears little things and he's like, yeah, I think it'll be a great thing. I really do. I believe in you. So, of course, my husband has been a big cheerleader. But then my best friend, definitely, like, she's overly excited. We don't talk about it, like, day to day, like I do with Kyle. But just in me telling her about this, because I feel like both of us were kind of protective over it, but we let who we wanted to know in.
Right.
So she was just that person that I took to. And the way she just was in tears, girl. It's just like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is going to touch so many people. And y'all going to do great things. I'm so grateful for y'all. Yes. I'm like, girl, I'm thankful for our yes. No, I'm thankful for Monty's yes, which, of course, we'll get into that. But, yeah, I definitely thank my best friend and my husband because he's been there. And this is definitely for us, it's going to take time. Like, it's going to take us away from the house a little bit. We got to record but I think, like, for me, just as good as I want this to be for other women and healing, it is for me as well to get in a safe place, with someone who has a similar journey that I could really, I don't have to feel candid. Like, I don't have to be like, oh, yeah, well, this was good. And, I'm just be myself.
Right.
Because we both know what it takes to get here. So, yeah, definitely my husband. Definitely my best friend, Brittany. Love you, girl.
Okay.
So who is it for you? Who has been your person? Because I feel like you're a little bit quieter than I am.
Quieter?
So, yeah.
So it's funny you say that because I do feel like I have not. It's so funny because when we did our photo shoot, I sent the pictures to my mom, and my mom was like, I feel some type of way because I didn't even know you was doing a podcast. And I'm like, wow. I haven't told anybody.
Yeah.
So for me, it's funny because I had someone in mind, but like now that we're sitting here and like I'm really thinking it through, my person is you.
Really?
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Because I feel like, I feel like for one, you have like been like, okay, when I'm thinking something or I'm feeling something, you're feeling it too, right?
Yeah.
And because I haven't like shared it with like that many people, I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
you've been like my pick me up. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I could be feeling, one way, and then like, girl, you just got this good positive energy that's like just kept me afloat throughout this process because it's different for you. And even though like
Yeah.
I do radio, it's different for me too, and like
Yeah.
I've never worked with a co-host or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there has been moments where it's just like, oh, this is scary because it's new. But like, I feel like you've done a great job at just keeping me, keeping my mind on the prize, like understanding
Yeah.
like what this is really about, what this is
Mm-hmm.
really for, and just like being intentional. So like I feel like my shout out goes to my co-host. Thank you so much for just keeping me, keeping me together on this journey. Because I be overthinking and I be having a lie in my head,
Which is
and
crazy because I feel like you be so decisive. Remember I told you I was like, you're decisive, but
yeah.
I feel like I have freaked you out at one point.
A little bit. We did have a little moment.
Yeah.
We had a little moment. But that's what I said. But you picked it up, you picked me back up. Because I was like, oh.
It was a week. It was a week.
It
was a
Erica
week.
is stressing me out, honey. But Erica got it back together. And like I said, but like, let's say, for example, if like, you like we sat in that like, okay, so after that day you hit me up, you like, girl, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to come off like, but like imagine if you didn't do that, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just saying, like, I feel like is the perfect balance of like, for one, just us being intentional and us feeling like, okay, us coming together is like a God thing, right? God put us together to do this, for one. And just knowing like the message behind it. Like, it's bigger than me, you, but then it's also a healing space for me and you to kind of put our truths out there.
It's definitely the truth.
Speaking of truths, you want to get into your mom truth?
Oh, okay. Mom truth for the week.
Mom truth.
Girl, I will say this. I had a really good week this week.
Good.
Until the end of the week.
Oh, okay. What happened at the end of the week? What happened at the end of the week?
The end of the week, without too much detail, it was just like, I basically was in a space where I feel like because like you kind of just said, like, I feel like I like to stay on the more positive side of things. I try to look past little things that I know is temporary. If you have an attitude right now or if you're upset right now, like, I try to be like, this is so temporary. So let's get past that. So I try to motivate and maybe I'm not trying to intentionally motivate, but I'm just kind of talking to people with how I view things, right? And so as the week went on, I had a friend, and I love you dearly, who was just like a little upset about a situation when it came to her spouse. And I felt like, her being upset was totally understandable to me, but I was like encouraging until it got to a point where I feel like I projected onto my husband. And then it caused us to have some friction because he was like, why are you're projecting right now? And I was like, no, I'm not. You're not going to tell me I'm projecting. And I'm not. Because to me, I was just talking. And it took me stepping back and realizing, like, okay, I have to be really careful about my energy and what I let in. Because if we're not, girl, it will affect your whole entire household.
Yes.
So if I if I try to be too much for somebody to where it rubs off on me, I have to be very careful about that because now my husband, and if my husband who, like, the man kind of controls the temperature in the house a little bit, So
what happened to it? Did used to be that way. I feel like it was the wife that was like.
I feel like it kind of still is, but like their energy is so big.
It's so big that it definitely takes over.
Yeah, it takes over. So I was like, okay, now he's thrown off.
Yeah,
we're at odds. That means the kids are intuitive.
Yeah,
okay,
for
so
sure.
they are gonna sense the friction and the tension, and I'm like, well, whatever, I'm right, so I don't care. I'm gonna block him. I blocked him.
Blocked him from what? Your phone? Lord, we're not blocking husbands in 2025.
I have never in my life. That is just the truth I'm putting out there. I was so mad. I blocked his number and then I emailed him so he knew that I blocked his number.
Oh my! And then gotta wait. So was he out of town?
No, I seen him as soon as I got home. As soon as I got home.
I'm crying.
And he was like, so you blocked me?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Bye. Go sleep downstairs tonight because you need to think about what you said to me.
Yeah.
You know, but one of my friends, we hung out and she was able to pull it back from me. Even though I was like, girl, you're doing too much. You too much on his side, please. Is he paying you to be here? Tell me now.
We need those friends, though.
You do need those friends. And so she brought me back down. But it definitely messed with my day and, like, the mood of the house, which, as a mom, we are not always going to be perfect. But to be that, messed up and it throws off the kids going to bed and what they ate, because I'm so deep into my thoughts. I ain't even, I'm looking up. It's 9:30. The kids ain't had no dinner because I'm still sitting here thinking about what I'm going to say when you get back.
Right.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
Then, first of all, it's 9:30. Why they ain't in bed?
Why they not in bed?
No, for
my
sure.
girls are struggling with that. But yeah, so that is my mom truth. Like, just be very, very careful who we already have so much going on in our lives. Your energy has to be protected. I know everybody says that, but it's like a real thing because it will end up affecting you in so many different ways, throwing you off and the vibes off. Because my vibe was off. I was like, let me pour more into the podcast, child, because I ain't talking to him, you know? So my mom truth is not just mommy stuff this week, because I didn't have too much, you know, besides they won't go to bed.
Okay.
So what is your mom truth?
Okay, so I love that, actually. Great message. I feel like my mom truth is definitely the mommy stuff. I feel like I had a moment this week where my daughters, I was like, these little attitudes,
Girl.
I can't. And I had to remember, I had to take a step back. They ain't mama child, you know? And I had to really, and truthfully though, like I really had to sit with myself and I'm like, you know what? I feel like I might got to do a better job with, you know, who I am as an influence on my rough days. Because this attitude ain't coming from nowhere. They getting it from their mama. So mama, you got to do a better job with your attitude. So, yeah, I think that's my mom truth. I'm just like, after this week, I'm just like, okay, I really got to work on how I handle situations, even with them. Because, like, you know, I could be frustrated in my attitude. Because I talk to my kids, which I guess this is my mom truth. But, like, I'll talk to them. Like, if I'm talking to me, I'm like, girl, you know, I'll say that. So, in return, she's like, girl. And I'm like, don't girl me, you know.
But you just
so I got it. So, I have to... You know, just find the balance and you know, being a mom and taking my role serious and not showing too much of that side. I mean, they're going to be who they're going to be. You know, it is what it is. But I don't know. That was just a moment that I felt like I had to take a step back and be like, okay, I'm mad at them and their attitudes and how they talking to me, but where they getting it from?
Where they getting it from?
So, yeah, that's my mom truth. Got to do a better job.
That's a good one. And that's real because I feel like Kaya is 3 and that 3-year-old attitude is vicious. Little girl attitude.
Yeah.
Because having had boys first and I did not deal with that with my boys. This attitude on her, I don't know what to do with it. Yeah. I don't know what to do with it. And her dad, he's so, you know, with the boys, he gonna like bark. But with them, he's like, baby, sweetie.
I know.
He texts me today talking about, oh, well, Kaya wants to go to the beach and then sending me hotels. I'm like, because she really woke up like, I want to go to the beach. I don't want to go to church. That's what she said.
Oh, Lord. They run their daddies. They
She's
definitely
like, I want to go to the beach.
And so then it makes us look like the bad mom. Because, like, I tell my, like, even, like, Sweet, this is kind of off subject, but I'm just saying, like, Sweets and Junk, like, they daddy do all that. I'm the mean one. No, you ain't. Didn't you have something today? No, you know. Anyways, I was just saying, like, it be making, we play such different roles in, like, our kids' lives as mom and as dad. Yeah. Anyways, how are you feeling about this episode? How are you feeling moving forward? I mean, you guys will be able to expect so much. Conversations like this. We plan to have guests. We plan to do some live podcast episodes. So we have a lot in store.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling now that we've reached the end of our first episode?
I'm excited. I feel like that's how I feel. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was a short amount of time, but it wasn't a short amount of time for us, from you coming to me to us getting here.
Yeah.
But it was like a lot that we were unpacking in this time, from us going like 100 miles an hour, and we had to figure out, walk it back. Okay, y'all, take it back, take it a little bit slower. But I am just so excited. I'm happy and thankful for, like I said 1,000 times, I'm so thankful for your yes, like, in bringing me in. And I can't wait for when I can like share how this came to be. We gotta figure out when that's gonna happen, because
so make sure you stay tuned, because it's a lot of juicy
and I feel like it's gonna be inspiring.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I was breaking it down to myself last night, and I was like almost in tears. I'm like, dang, God, like this thing has been seasoned. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just starting it, but I feel like it really has been in the works for a long time.
Like that chicken, when you season that chicken, you put that in the refrigerator,
it's been marinade. It's been
marinating.
Yeah, so that's why I know, like, I'm not gonna worry about it, the conversational flow, everything, because we have real stuff to talk about, and the place we're coming from, like, we're not just like, we're here for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
I'm thankful.
Same here. I'm excited too. And I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited to, kind of like we share, even in our own personal spaces and lives, we do different things, right? So for me, being in this world, like I'm excited to see like you grow and like how you, transform in this podcasting world as well. So I'm excited, guys. Make sure that you stay tuned. This is our first season, and we're going to be sharing a lot, talking about a lot. Make sure you follow us on social media as well, at the College Mom Dropouts.
College Mom Dropouts.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes.
And we'll be dropping each and every Wednesday right here.
What do the people say? Like, comment, subscribe. Is that just
comment,
YouTube?
Subscribe. Oh, yeah, might be. But we on YouTube. No. We on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. So
like, comment,
subscribe.
like, comment, subscribe.